Twinkl and I home educate my 3 children. We have lots of fun and a lot of relaxed learning, but every morning we do have a little table time where we sit and do our literacy for the day. It normally just takes about 30 minutes, so I thought you might be interested in seeing how I plan for that. Let's go. I know some people can find all the phonics on the Twinkl website a little bit overwhelming because there are literally hundreds of resources and you've got phases and levels and all these different things. To make it easy for myself and my daughter, we just go through the phonics scheme and we just follow week to week what they suggest. We skip things if we already know them, or we spend longer on things if we need to. But we basically print off the parent information sheets, which you'll see one a bit closer coming up, that has a song on. It tells you how to write the letter. It gives you words to sound out and so on. There it is there. And so I put that in the book. I printed off some letters to trace and we practice doing that in the air on each other's backs. We might do it in a salt tray, whatever we fancy. And then I just pick one simple activity to do. And that's usually in the weekly planning, but I also sometimes just Twinkl search for whatever it is. So it might be letter J, activity, game, craft, whatever it might be, and that'll come up. And I like to put it all in the scrapbook so that we can just open it up each day, we can look through it, but it's also a reference for her to look through and enjoy practicing again, and we can always go back, flick back and see what we've done. So I'll often make like little pockets for us to take the games out of and play and then put them back in. So I do 4 letters a week, and then on the last day we just go over some of the tricky words or the keywords for that level. We're still working on the words from phase 2 because we've just finished that. And so on a Friday, when her brother has a little bit of a spelling quiz, then she'll have a hunt around the house for the different keywords or different tricky words, and then she has to match them. I timed myself preparing this. It took about 5 minutes to print things off that I needed from the Twinkl website, 10 minutes, well, just under 10 minutes to get the scrapbook ready. And then because this is, 5 to 7 days worth of learning, and it'll probably be about 10 minutes that she'll spend on it, or longer if she's having lots of fun, especially if she's hunting around for words, then I think that's a pretty good investment. There we go, job done. Each morning we start a learning time then by sitting at the table, and I do the phonics with my daughter who's sat on one side and my son sits on the other side to do his spelling, which he can do a little bit more independently. Again, I just work through the scheme from Twinkl. We're going through the year 1 spellings. We're not necessarily matching up at whatever terms. We started in a different place, but it works for us because we do a lot of things that don't follow the national curriculum, but sometimes it is nice to just have an order worked out for us. So we prefer that for phonics and spellings. It just, like I say, takes the hard work out of it for me. So I print off the poster each week for him to refer back to, and a word search, so that if he does finish his activities early, he can have a go at the word search and work on that through the week. We don't enjoy doing timed tests or timed work in our house. It stresses some of us out, so he can work on that whenever he wants. We also don't do a spelling test, so at the end of the week we'll just do a spelling quiz, get some manipulatives out and spell the words and talk them through. So I divide the next page into 4 because we do it 4 mornings and then the last day a bit of a spelling quiz. And then you might notice that I hold my pen incorrectly, but it does the job for me. So I write in different things that he could do, and he can pick which one he wants to do each day. So we've got letter stamps for him to stamp out some of the words. I've got stickers, so some days it might be putting stickers in, other times it might be doing rainbow writing, so he can use all different colours, or bubble writing because he likes to kind of do graffiti style writing. But yeah, you'll see me working through the different activities, looking back to see which ones we've done before. So this is just filling the letters. Sometimes I'll draw the boxes for the shape of the letters to fit in, and that's quite a nice one. And good enough is good enough. Again, I'm not aiming for perfection. It's just about getting something that is engaging for my child, but not overwhelming for either of us. It doesn't take long to prep this. This just took a few minutes for me to do because I already had the sheets printed off from before. I'm going to get him as well to trace some of the words, so I'm going to write them in a light colour for him to go over. And then the last one I'm going to have him do is just join up the different words split in half, just to think about those. We don't do 10 spellings a day, we just keep it simple. That's the joy of home educating, that we can do it in a way that suits us. And then, yep, he just spends 5-10 minutes each day doing that. Sometimes we might do it in a more creative way. He might draw on the window with chalk markers. We might write in stamp in Play-Doh. We might stand on one leg and say the spellings out. They sometimes like spelling bees, but there we go. There it is, job done, ready for the morning time. You can see I'm getting serious now. I've got my chocolate, I've got my tea, I've got my sticky notes, and I've got a planner that I made on Twinkl Create. There are so many different planners, especially made for home educators on the website, but I enjoy trying out some new things, and using Create is a cheaper way for me than buying lots of planners and trying them out. So here I am, just transferring last week's activities that we missed into this week's, and planning what we're going to do. So usually I read aloud a chapter or two from a book while they paint or draw in their sketchbooks, and then we do a little bit of shared writing afterwards. So I'm just skimming through the chapters now to try and draw out any vocabulary, any questions that I want to ask them, and I pop that down on a sticky note because we do our table time quite early in the morning. We usually all finish by 9 o'clock, so it's nice if I've already done the thinking so that I can just be reading and drinking my tea and not having to think of questions at the same time. So I pop those down and then think about an activity that they could do afterwards. Usually it's drawing or talking about something or acting something out. If there are certain grammar things, I might pull out a sheet from Twinkl to add that, or sometimes if we want to go over some things like if we were doing similes, I would maybe get off a little game from Twinkl and just see if that works as well. This week I decided just to plan a few days ahead. I just want to see how they go, and we might choose some more writing with our topic work. So I'm just keeping it light this week, and then that's it. I'm finished with the main planning of our structured work that week, and I can finish off my cup of tea.